YouTube channels. So how this works is this is a free thing. So what we can do here is that we are going to be looking at YouTube channels, and this is to give you feedback and, just give you some advice on, ways that you might be able to make things better. And when it comes to the information that I'm going to be sharing with you, it comes from information that I've learned over almost 11 years on YouTube, being a content creator myself, helping other content creators with their channels, and so on. So it's tons of experience that you can just tap into right here during the stream. And we're going to just look at your content and see what it is that you're doing. Not your content, I'm sorry, but usually your channel pages, thumbnails, titles, descriptions, all that stuff, because we can't actually watch videos. But we're going to look at all that, and we are going to, see if we can find some, places to improve, what it is that you're doing. If you are somebody that wants that kind of feedback, I'm trying to get myself in the right position here. I feel like I'm wiggling around. There we go. So I'm having some dental surgery, or just had some, so I'm still recovering from it. So if I say things a little bit funny, just kind of bear with me, a little bit, because the roof of my mouth is swollen right now. So some of my words, are coming out just a little bit, a little bit weird, but I'm also kind of practicing during this stream to make sure that I can handle the stream tomorrow as well. So anyway, Jerry Papandreou, what's going on? Smoke Shop, nice to see you in here. Construction Cronies, nice to see you. Sarah Don's Designs, nice to see you as well. Doug Hoosen in the house, what's up, my dude? Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Again, for those of you that are just joining us, what we do here during these channel review streams is we look at YouTube channels. We give feedback on things that, things that somebody can do to kind of improve what it is that they're doing, because you're making videos, you're putting all this work into what it is that you do. So because of that, I'm sure most people here are wanting to have, as many people as possible interact with the content, so they can see the cool stuff that you're making. So we're going to try to help you do that today. So how this works, if you've never been here before for the reviews, is I put a word into the chat. And for those of you that have been here before, you can go ahead and just get a lead on the word that, that we usually put in here first. But when it comes to how this works is I'm going to put a word up on the screen, and then all you have to do is type that word into the chat box, and then it's going to put you into this tool that I'm using, your channel name into this tool that I'm using, and then it's going to randomly select somebody that put that word in there. And from there, I open up your YouTube channel, and then I give you some feedback. Sometimes, we spend a lot of time on a channel. Sometimes we'll just spend a few minutes, or, just maybe a short amount of time on a channel, depending on, what's needed. But that's how it works. And again, this is completely free for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the word up on the screen now, and then you can go ahead and get it in here. So the word is Niminati. Of course, we got to start there. This is how we always start, and it looks like nobody got that from the last streams. I think this might be the first one, or maybe the second one we've done on a Friday. So we might have a somewhat new crowd in here. We got our Thrive Hive checking in from Tennessee. What's going on? Hope that you are doing great. And let me go ahead and hit this start button here. There we go. So yeah, so to participate, to have your channel, looked at, all you got to do is put this word into the chat box. And as you can see, as people are starting to put it in there, it's starting to, count them. And then we will get channels pulled up on the screen as, as we come in. Shark Scrapper in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Exceptional Indie Games. Nice to see you in here. Chatty Cathy. Hey, 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 hey. Incredible Bible Revelations. What's up? Glad that you are enjoying the content. Thanks for swinging by. Okay, so we're just going to give, just a few more seconds here to give people the opportunity to come in and, put that word into the chat. And it's slowed down, so I think we might be good on this one. And we're just going to go ahead and hit it. And this is going to be the first Exceptional Indie Game. So here we go. We are going to copy this. And then from here, we are going to go here. Just a quick reminder for those of you that don't know this already, we have a free music service for creators called Creator Mix. You can find the YouTube channel at creatormix.com. You can also find the website for it at creatormix.com. And that, oops, wrong thing. And that is so if you are, using background music or anything like that, you don't want headaches of copyright, great solution for that. My brother D and I put that together for you guys as a free thing for you. So make sure that you check that out if you are needing music. All right, so here we go. So let's see here. So exceptional indie games. So the first things that we are going to look at here is I just do a quick, gander, try to figure out real quick what the channel is about, what it is that you are offering. So, clearly based on your channel name, based on the, channel art up here, we have indie games. So it's crystal clear to me, crystal clear that is, what it is that you are offering. Moon over Miami, what's going on? Hope you are doing great. Hey, what's up, Agent Casey? So right there, it's pretty clear what it is that you are offering on the channel. So I think you've done a great job there. Now, as we scroll down here, okay, so we are featuring this from yesterday. Okay, that's cool. We've got For You page up there at the top, which is perfectly fine. Then we have your most recent videos playlist, which is good. You're uploading on a regular cadence, which is good. You've got content broken down into playlists here as well, so people can easily find more of what they want from you. So a couple things just really quick is I would definitely make some updates here because you have the best games of 2024, but now, we're coming to the end of 2025, so I would get another one of those up here too for 2025 if you don't have it already. Just, again, just to make it easy for people to find that recent content from you that they want. One thing that I do want to bring to your attention here from the channel page, actually two things, and this isn't huge, right? This isn't going to be like your channel's not going to blow up when you do this, just something to consider. So when, let's say that I come to your channel and, I find it out in the wild, right? YouTube recommends it to me. And then I come to your YouTube channel. I'm like, hey, this is really good stuff. So let me hit the channel page. Okay, I click on your channel name. I land on your channel page. And I'm like, yeah, let's see what they got. Checking out your channel. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. Okay. And then I get down here and I'm like, oh, this grabs my attention for whatever reason, right? This short right here. Then because this is on your main channel page, you had the opportunity to capture me here and lead me into like longer form content. And instead of adding more playlists here in place of this and this, you are sending me into something to where I, might just spend, a few seconds or a minute or, maybe up to 3 minutes if you're making them that long, but a relatively short amount of time on this short. And then I'm out of there, via getting interested in something else. So because of that, I just recommend to people that you don't put that on your channel page. But if you do, you have it in the right spot here by putting it all the way down here at the bottom. However, when it comes to this right here, I would consider, you can have them, if you want. This is all up to you. But just keep in mind that if somebody is here on your channel page, they're here because they're engaged in you and they're wanting more from you. And here, when they come down here, especially when you see something like Best Indie Games, 186,000 subscribers, because of just how things work, the social proof connected to this suggests instantly that, hey, there might be some good content here, right? So you might leak some people here into this channel right here, possibly into this one also. But this one isn't super clear what it is, so, not as much there. But this one right here, if somebody's watching indie game videos and they come down here, you might send some people, over that way. If that's another channel of yours or something, perfectly fine. But I would just be mindful of, of this being a leak on your YouTube channel. And again, those things aren't anything that I'm telling you here about this channel page. That's not going to be the stuff that's going to move the needle for you when it comes to your channel. These are just little fine tuning things. So, as you're getting traffic on your YouTube channel, you can, capture those viewers and then you can make it easy for them to find more content from you that they are, the most likely to enjoy. Okay, now let's look at the important stuff. So when it comes to the important stuff, we have, I guess, Catunot is the name of the game. And then we have Hidden Gem. And then we have Review on here. So this is a tiny little nuance. And you do have it clear here that we have the Catunot Review. Here, I'll just make this bigger for everybody. We do have it clear here that it is the Catunot Review right down here in this section. And then you have the logo up here. You have some imagery. But when it comes to thumbnails, it's important to think of thumbnails kind of like a billboard when you're driving down the highway, right? So when you're driving down the highway, they keep everything simple and super focused, right? Because they want to grab your attention and then focus you on the right things. And they spend money on graphic designers in order to, in order to make sure that if somebody's looking at a glance, one, it's going to grab their attention so that they will look, but then two, so that when you do look at it, your eyes are focusing on the right things in order to gather information on what that billboard might be about or what it might be trying to bring to your attention. So in this case, you have the cat and knot, but it's kind of small. I mean, it's big, but on a small size. Man, I wish I had my other tool loaded up in here, but I don't. Maybe I could. Nah, it's okay. But basically, when you have it here on home pages, this logo right here is going to be okay. This part down here is the part that I would consider making an adjustment to. So you have hidden gem and review, and you are making the connection there. So it's not that you're doing something wrong per se. I just think that you could fine tune it to make it a little bit more clear. Like gaming gem or, hidden gaming gem or, something along those lines. Because the whole idea here is once you grab their attention with this Katu knot, then from there, their eyes are going to go from up here. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, their eyes are going to go from up here to whoop down here, right? Like, oh, okay, cat and knot. What is this? What's this about? So if you have hidden gem, doesn't really add a ton to this, especially since you've already got it down here. And then having the review on here, you already have cat to knot review here as well. So you really don't need this information here. And really this part right here is the part that's standing out the most in the thumbnail. So like if we take it down to, a size like this, the first thing you see is hidden gem and review, right? So here, if you're going to do something that's going to pull attention away from the thing that might, matter to the viewer here. And really, since it's indie games, you also got to think, well, we'll get to that in a second. But basically, with this particular thing, I would put more language here to make it clear that it has, something to do with some games or, something like that, just to add a little bit of clarity right there. So I would definitely just consider that. In addition to that, when it comes to indie games, I would also be using indie games in the language on some of these too. You have it on this particular one. But I would try to add like indie games to it or frame the whole thing around like, this might be the next, hidden gem in gaming, right? And the whole idea with that is if at scale, people don't know what the Katu knot is because it's an indie game, and they might, but if they don't, then in that particular case, at like making this so that it's more like for people that are interested in games. So it's more about like, hey, this is something you have to check out versus Katu knot review. This might be the next hidden game, right? Because then if you're like, hey, this might be the next hidden gem in gaming, and then you don't even have to worry about, having this, review thing up here in the front. But if you're like, hey, this game's probably going to blow up, let me get those keywords in there because there are people that are looking for it, things like that, then in that case, keep it in there. But the biggest, thing for me is where it is that you're putting people's focus when they're actually looking at your thumbnails. Because one thing you got to think about, man, is like if you are looking at YouTube's homepage, then, like you're competing with everything that YouTube thinks is a good fit for you. So because of that, like if somebody's just scrolling, looking for something to watch, like you need to be able to stand out, right? In terms of grabbing their attention with your thumbnail so that they'll fall down and they'll read the title, right? That's the idea of that. Yeah. And I would just kind of go through like some of these also. Like here, is it worth playing review? And then in this particular case, you are using, I'm guessing this is going to be like one of the big, characters or symbols of the game. Spirit of the North review, Stunning Fox Adventure. What are other indie game channels doing? Let's do this. Best indie games. We're going to this channel that you're recommending in your thing there, and let's see what they're doing. Okay, so here they're just using the imagery from a game, it looks like, and then they're using the title to carry all of the weight. So they're putting their logo here, so the fans that they already have can recognize it. And then from there, they're just using cool game imagery so that gamers will be like, oh, a game, and then they'll read the title down here. So yeah, I would consider taking, that type of approach also, and just kind of keeping it simple. Cause I mean, this seems to be working for them. I don't know if it does for everybody else, but I would experiment with that as well if you're not already. Okay, so this one's got 116,000 views on it from a month ago. Let's see what they're doing. Okay. Yeah, some of them aren't, some of them, actually they're publishing content like crazy. Holy moly. Let's see, where was that one? A month ago, there it is. Yeah, perfect 10 out of 10 indie games you must play. Perfect 10 out of 10 indie games, right? So the whole thing is focused around introducing people to indie games versus, putting the title of the game, in here. And 18 new games you can easily finish this weekend. 18 best open world crime games, right? So now they're targeting like a specific type of gamer. Underrated games that are more addictive than AAA titles. Yeah, so if you look here at the games that they're doing, I mean, one, they're doing lists, which are good, but it looks like they're not doing much in terms of calling out the actual games itself as much as they are saying like, hey, here are some indie games that you should check out, right? So I would just kind of consider taking the approach that they are taking, and same thing in the thumbnails. It's like one word. Here we got a few words in here, but even still, they're focused more on making this look, like it's a game instead of, filling it up with, text and trying to bring all of the attention to the text, right? So the focus is a lot more clear there. Another thing is I would be real careful. Like this is going to age your content really fast. And you probably know this already, and it might be intentional because some people do this stuff, and they're like, yeah, I don't want people to watch these after this date. But another thing that can really work against somebody is when you add dates to your thumbnails like this, it can make the content irrelevant, right? Because here you have, are you missing out on these 8 dropping indie game releases? It's a release. Yeah. So maybe, yeah. And releasing this week. So yeah, maybe it is news. And because of that, these dates are required on there. But I would A/B test some of these because you have that feature inside of YouTube, strip that off and see if it helps people click on it. Maybe since we're after the fact anyway, maybe also the biggest and best indie games that have been released lately, or something like that. So then that way, you're kind of opening it up a little bit in terms of, not making it feel dated for people. So hopefully all that made sense. If not, let me know. Yeah, thumbnails are tough. Thumbnails are tough for everybody. Like I've done graphic design for, let's see here, probably, many years. Like I've been playing with Photoshop since Photoshop was Photoshop before it had any like version numbers or anything like that. Like, it's been a long time. And it's still just thinking through of like, okay, how am I going to capture somebody's attention with this? And, all of that, like it's challenging. It's definitely challenging. All right, so if you are just joining us, I do want to let you know what we're doing right now is we are looking at YouTube channels. We are, just giving some advice, giving some feedback because, a lot of content creators, like we're operating like in our own little world in terms of not having a lot of people around us that can give us like real feedback on what it is that we're doing. You ask friends and they're like, hey, everything's great. It's man, this is awesome. Show your family. They're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Great stuff. Right. But, like I'm here to just give you some additional feedback on top of that, that, hopefully, will, help you out on your YouTube channel. So how this works, if you did just join us, is I put a word up on the screen. And as soon as I put that word up on the screen, then all you have to do is type that word into chat. And when you type that word into chat, then it is going to, hold on really quick. Yeah, as soon as you type that word into chat, then what's going to happen is it's going to put it into this tool that I'm using, and then it's going to randomly select somebody out of that. So the word for this one is new creator. And when it comes to new creator, the reason that I use this particular word is because, as you can see on the graphics right down here, new creator is an app that I made for YouTubers. It has all kinds of helpful stuff for you in there. It has a content planner in there, helps you come up with video ideas. It helps you organize all of your content ideas and sort them by the type of content, things like that. It has a tool in there that will help you get some feedback on your thumbnails and help you identify things that you might be able to do better. Checklists in there to make sure that you never forget a step when you're uploading videos or making thumbnails or anything else, but all kinds of helpful stuff for you. You can check that out at newcreator.app, or you can scan the QR code right here. If you are, watching this on a TV or, or on a computer, it would just be easier to scan with your phone. But this is an iPhone app. I'm working on the web version right now. And then after the web version, we'll have an Android version too. So make sure you check it out. I've also got it linked at the very top of the description. Okay, here we go. Shawnee Grows. Here we go, Shawnee. Let's see what you got going on here. Bloop. And we'll go to YouTube. Go here. Okay, so it looks like you do some gardening content. Learn as you grow, weekly gardening live streams, monthly garden tours, educational and inspiring. Super cool. Let's see what you have going on here. Growing your own food with tips for beginner gardeners. Excellent. Survival gardens, companion planting, regenerative soil practice. All of that is awesome. Okay, come down here. We have past live streams, 12 hours ago, 1 day ago. So just really quick, I would swap these out. So you want to put your videos up here on the top. So optionally, you can have your For You up there because that's part of YouTube's recommendation system. Like on the last channel that we looked at with the indie games, they had that For You bar going across the top. Either that or video should be at the very top, and then put everything else. And the reason for that is because when you publish a new video to YouTube, you want as many people interacting with that content as possible, right? For all these recent videos. So there's going to be some people that land on your page, are just going to go to your videos tab and find, what they want anyway. But for the people that land on your channel page that, scroll here and they use that as a method to find your content, the more people that you can send into this, especially people that are already engaged enough to come to your YouTube channel and look for more, the more people that you can send into this, the more information you're going to give YouTube on how people are enjoying your content. And it's also going to help you in terms of like targeting, right? So like for every person that goes into that video and they're like, wow, this is great. And they, enjoy it for a long enough time that YouTube deems it as a satisfactory experience for that viewer. Then in that particular case, then YouTube's going to be like, okay, this type of viewer enjoys this. So is there anybody else on YouTube that we can show this to that is like this particular viewer? So because of that, just getting as many people as possible into these videos and trying not to interrupt them up here. And the reason that I'm prioritizing the video content over the live streams, even though you are doing, different thumbnails and all that stuff for the live streams, so they do feel like videos, it is still a live stream experience. And typically, sometimes live streams do great on YouTube on the replay, but a lot of times live streams just don't hold they just don't carry the weight, so to speak, especially on channels like yours and like mine. They just don't carry that weight to where, you can typically, for like an hour and a half long live stream, to where you can typically, kind of count on those to, bring in a lot of views and stuff like that. So I would just prioritize the video content. I'm not saying don't live stream. I'm just saying just kind of refocus, this particular part of your channel page and swap. And swap, did it again. Yeah, and swap this area with this area. So you can keep them both on there. Just kind of swap them. Let's see here. So as we keep on going, we're going to scroll down the page. We've got popular videos down here. Fantastic. It's good that you had a video here that did well. Fantastic there. So there was something I was going to bring to your attention, but it looks like I don't need to because you're doing it up here. And then you've got the shorts down here also. Yeah, this is another one right now because you've got 835 subscribers. You're trying to get monetized on your YouTube channel. I would get this off of there because, again, this is one of those things where it's better. Let me see how many videos you have. 334. Yeah, you got tons of content. Okay, so yeah, this is one of those scenarios where it's better to, get this off of there and actually load this up with your content curated playlist right here. So you can keep this, right? The created playlist. So it's a playlist of playlists, which is great. But I would also break these down and put them on, add them as playlists here on the channel page as well. You can do this inside of your Anfield Road layout in the loft. What's going on? Hope you're doing great. You can do this down in your customization settings for your channel. So that's where you want to do this. And shout out to you using Opus Clip right there. Fantastic. Love seeing that on there. But let's get into the stuff that matters most. So, okay, August garden tour. I mean, I'll be honest, as a gardener, or not as a gardener, but like as, like a viewer here, like, I mean, that says garden to me. One thing that I would do though is I would experiment on this channel just because, you're not getting like tons of traction yet. So one thing that I would do is I would experiment here at the click level, and I would experiment with different thumbnails. So having like a zoomed out thumbnail like this, and then having like another one to where maybe, it's like a close up, something like, like this that you're doing, but do it on something to where you have, just a nice clear shot of, some of the stuff that's growing in your garden, to where maybe somebody that's into gardening, if they were to see that, they'd be like, oh, that, well, that looks like really nice, something that would, grew nicely in the garden or something. I would definitely just experiment using YouTube's A/B feature on that. Another thing is here you have August garden tour. This is one of those things where you're also in a similar boat with kind of dating, the content a little bit, because, it could be, garden tour. I'm not sure if you're like a professional gardener or amateur gardener, but basically reframing this instead of just, August garden tour, which doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it means that it's a garden tour, but I mean, it's not compelling, right? Like this is a video that if this shows up on your homepage, just based on how it's titled, you could just go right over it and just be like, oh, that looks like a nice garden, and then just kind of keep going, because it doesn't really say anything in the title that is compelling, right? So something that would be different would be, or might be worth experimenting with, is instead of like August garden tour, what could you do there? You could say something like, I mean, of course, this is going to be dependent of what you have in the video too, which is why it's important to think of your thumbnails and titles before you make the content. But maybe something like, garden tour hyphen. Well, I don't know. When you start the video, hold on, let me check something here real quick. And let's go to your transcript. What if I told you that by just 20 pages you grow almost everything you need for a complete meal? Fresh mushroom rolls, garden. Okay. So instead of August garden tour, like check out all of these, I don't know if it's vegetables. Check out how many vegetables I've grown in my garden, or check how many, check out how many vegetables came out in my garden this year or this season, or something along those lines. Like what I'm searching for there is I'm just trying to think of something that would just make it feel more like, oh, okay, this is like interesting now, right? I don't know, if it was like a yield that you pulled from this or what, but I would just try to work on this so it just becomes more meaningful, right? And with that, basically what you're going for, the mission here is you want to think to yourself as a gardener, right? You want to think to yourself, okay, if I logged into YouTube and I saw the August garden tour, I might click on it, right? I might click on that video and I'm like, oh, let's go check out their garden. Super cool. I want to check out the tour. However, what you want to try to think about with your thumbnail or your title, I'm sorry, is you want to think about, okay, is there a way that I could wrap this title up to where I could make it to where if I logged onto YouTube and I saw that video, to where the title would make me think not like, oh, that might look interesting, but like, oh, I need to watch this, right? That's the difference. That's what you're going for. So when you're making thumbnails, what you want to think about is, when you're packaging up your videos, what you want to think about is you want to ask yourself first with the thumbnail, what about this thumbnail is going to help the people that I'm trying to reach identify that it's something that they might care about? That's step number one. Step number two is when it comes to the title, because that is going to be the next thing that they're looking at. So when it comes to the title, then from there, you got to think about, okay, what exactly about this title is going to compel the viewer to click on this? And then between those two, between your thumbnail and title, you want to think, okay, is there anything that I'm adding to this in terms of, extra words to the thumbnail or extra graphics to the thumbnail that aren't really needed, things like that? Is there anything that I'm adding to this that might actually distract the viewer from this, this value proposition that I'm trying to set up here? And if so, then I need to remove it, right? But just going through and asking yourself those questions can just help when it comes to titles and just making the titles a little bit more impactful. Because like what you're doing here, this isn't wrong, right? I want to make that clear. This isn't wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. This is informative. Okay. So you're informing people like, hey, this is my garden tour. Hey, this is my garden tour, for last month. But what you're trying to do, or what you should do if you want to get more people clicking on it, is you want to try to just make it to where somebody feels like they need to watch that video. Like if you're interested in gardening, like it's going to be hard to pass up that video, right? And a lot of that will start at the topic level. But like in your case, you have this kind of intro that you go through where you're like, what if I told you that in just 20 by 20 space, you could grow almost everything that you need for a complete meal? Fresh vegetables, like a row of carrots, row of beets, some lettuce. You've got an outer border of herbs. You've got storage crops for later, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, a whole trellis of beans for drying, right? Like you go through this whole thing. It's like you're having this buildup, when you go into the video, which I think is awesome. I think that's a good, a solid intro there. But I just think that this particular thing right there is working against you. But let's move on. Let's just look at a couple more here, and then we'll move on to another channel. And then here you have storm damage in the garden, heavy rain, power outage, and broken containers. So this kind of thing is cool when it comes to, like, hey, I'm just doing like a vlog, and, like I've got a lot of people coming back and watching my videos, and they're like super into like the vlog style thing. That's where videos like this can come in handy. But one thing that can be helpful when it comes to, growing the channel is also adding like a clear value to what it is that you have from the outside, right? So for example, like if you see storm damage in the garden, heavy rain, power outage, and broken containers, there's no real value of like what somebody might get out of that video if they clicked on it, right? It's like, okay, so you're showing that, or your title says that, and then you already show destruction in your thumbnail. So technically somebody doesn't need to click on it, right? Because they can already see what they need, and then they can move on from there. So instead, being like, and I don't know if you talked about, like what you learned from this or anything like that in the video, but if you did, that's where a situation like this could be, how I'm going to design my garden next time from all this storm damage, or, something along those lines. That title's too wordy, but the idea is to make it to where it's just a little bit more, impactful. And just like in this one, right? It's the same exact thing for here. And another thing, just because you are doing gardening content, you have the opportunity with all these just like, colors and everything, I would drop your thumbnails into Snapseed if you're doing everything on your phone, TubeSpanner or Canva or Photoshop. I'm not sure what you use for your thumbnails, but I would drop it into, something, and I would boost the saturation just a little bit. And the reason for that is because you are talking about gardening, and you have that opportunity to like really pump this stuff up a little bit, and make it to where, when a gardener sees it, it's not, really like a dull picture. Like this one has some life to it, but it's not like a duller picture. But it's like, just like nice and vibrant when they see it, to where it's like, ooh, that stuff looks really nice, right? I would definitely do that sort of thing. And then one thing I want to check here real quick. Take a walk through my August garden tours. 22 small space garden. And herbs, the powerhouse. We're looking for small garden food, inspiration, or just seeing what's growing in August. This tour will give you plenty of ideas for growing your garden. Okay, so this is good. So you have this tour will give you plenty of ideas for your own garden, okay? So this is the kind of thing that you want to think about when you are packaging up your videos. Because this, if you incorporated this into your title, into like a succinct way, and you made it to where it's like, hey, this is going to help you come up with ideas for your garden, that's a totally different value proposition, and it instantly adds that impact from the outside compared to August garden tour, right? Do you see kind of where I'm coming with all of this? Like, is that making sense? But the idea is, when it comes to the viewer, you just want to think to yourself like, okay, Like I'm trying to capture their attention on the homepage against all of this other content that YouTube thinks is going to be a great fit for them. So because of that, like how can I make this more interesting from the outside while at the same time being authentic with what's in the actual content, right? So a rule of thumb, just in case you guys don't know this for everybody that's here, a rule of thumb when it comes to YouTube is if your content supports it, meaning if your content type makes it possible, then coming up with your thumbnails and titles before you actually go out and make the video can be really advantageous, because then you can go through this process that we're kind of struggling through there with this channel. You can go through that process before you even make the content. You can say, okay, I want to make a video about this. So how am I going to represent that in the thumbnail? What pictures do I need to get when I'm out there in the garden? If I'm, making the video about this and I'm getting this pictures, then what exactly am I going to say to my title or in my title to make this compelling for a gardener? And then you keep working on that. And if you can't come up with something, then you just keep working on it until you can come up with something, and you can say, okay, now I got it. My thumbnail is going to be this, and then my title is going to be this. So then if somebody's going to click on this, I'm setting up this expectation here. What might they expect when they enter this video? And then from there, that's where you start, thinking when you go out to make the video, like, okay, what's the first thing I'm going to say when this video first opens to give this person a little bit more context, to assure them that they're in the right place? I think you're doing that part already. Great. Like right up here where you mentioned the thing about, oh no, that was another one. Oh yeah. Like what if I told you is by 2020 space, you could go almost, like all that I think is great. But just, just making sure that whatever it is that you're doing for everybody, just making sure it matches the expectation that you're creating. So then that way you can get good retention out of it versus just getting people to click on the video. All right. Let's see here. So the next word, and if you're just joining us, basically how this works is all you have to do is put the word garden into the chat right now. And when you put the word garden into the chat, then it's going to add you to this thing here, just your channel name. And then I'm going to hit the pick a winner button. And then when I pick that button, then it's going to randomly pick somebody that put the word garden into the chat. And really quick, Love of the Board says, hey, Nick, love your work. Board game YouTuber here. Hey, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you are enjoying the content. Thank you. Okay, so we got some entries coming in now. Man, we got a big delay today on this. I think I didn't set my settings. I think I didn't select that low latency setting in there. And again, while these are coming in, if you haven't tried my app yet that I made for YouTubers, I got a link to it right here, and I got a QR code. I got a link. You can go to New Creator app and check it out. Awesome. If you have an iPhone, you can actually add, like if you look at the home screen here, it's got like home screen widgets up here too, where you can like add, like when you add your content here, so it just keeps your content like front and center, so you like know what you need to work on. You can also add them here also, and like when you have the side panel, so there's like big widgets and small widgets and all that stuff. You can even minimize it down to show just your next video, right? So in my case, it's Nimin Live, but you can see right there when I make it smaller right up here, then it just shows Nimin Live and just shows when that's going to happen. Like those types of things are really helpful, for me when it comes to just kind of staying on top of things, make sure I'm thinking about the right things. And like, oh yeah, I need to, grab, these images while I'm out. And I remember now because I saw it on my phone, those types of things. All right, here we go. Build and Fix with Mooney, what's up? Geology Dude, nice to see you in here. Hope you're doing great. David Matney, what's up, dude? What's up, fella? All aboard with Blake. All aboard. What's going on? Hope you are doing great. Welcome to the stream. Silver Light, what's happening? Hope you're doing awesome. Miss Kettle, nice to see you. All right, so let's see here. So we are going to go to Graybeard Disc Golf. I like where this is going. We got, hey, I can represent the Graybeard thing here with you. See what Graybeard Disc Golf has going on. Your beard is glorious, by the way. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so good. Look at that beard. Oh, that's glorious. I absolutely love your beard. Okay, so let's see here, Graybeard disc golf. You know, all this is fine. You got your little disc golf thing there. Disc golf channel for everyone, but we'll lean towards content that is. This is a silly nuance, and this isn't going to make like a big difference. But this is just like my brain just works this way. So here you have a disc golf channel for everyone, but will lean towards content that is useful for players in my range. Like here, like you're already doing it. You're doing the thing, so you don't have to say like it's going to. Like you're already doing it, right? So I would just say, but but we lean towards content that's useful for players in my range because you're already doing the thing, right? So again, that's not going to be one of those things that's going to like make a difference, but it is definitely, just one of those things that, just kind of like you're doing it now, right? Just let them know like, hey, this is what we're doing here. But next up, so in terms, let me go back to your channel page real quick, and then we'll get to the important stuff. So here we got your videos, which is great. You've got almost 100. We've got your community post that shows that you're active. All of that is fantastic. This is a really cool opportunity, by the way, just in case you guys don't know. So, so YouTube shows these to subscribers and to non-subscribers. So you can get subscribers by just posting in your community feed. They don't come in a lot. Like you don't get like lots of subscribers, but I think last month, because I started doing daily community posts on my channel, and I think I might have pulled in, I can't remember, but I think it was like almost 20, I think, last month just from community posts, which is pretty interesting considering it's just a quick text post. So, that kind of thing is definitely something to consider, and it doesn't take any time whatsoever. And you can schedule them also, which is pretty cool. But you got the For You down here, all of that, and then multiple playlists down here. Okay, quick rims, soft gear, new plastic. Okay, so a couple things when it comes to playlists, just a little kind of best practice thing for you here, is if you look down here, like in this one, you say quick rips, here, just since it is a playlist, I would do quick disc golf rips. Here you have disc golf gear, which is great. New disc golf plastic, right? I would do, new disc golf. Maybe you might be using like slang there. I don't know if you guys call disc golf the disc plastic or what, but like, just adding disc golf to that somewhere to where it makes sense. And then also disc golf to this, it just kind of solidifies, what that playlist is about when somebody sees it, anywhere. Imagery, it's pretty clear that you are doing something that has to do with disc golfs. I can't imagine that a disc golf player sees this on their homepage and they don't know what it is. So I think, especially with the colors of the disc golf and all that stuff, or the disc, I think that your thumbnails are solid in terms of the imagery. But one thing that I would experiment with, and you might be doing this already, let me check. No, I don't think you're running A/B tests on these. So since you already have the image anyway, and then you have to, add the text to it, one thing that I would do in your case specifically is I would say, I would upload, because YouTube has the feature now to where you can test thumbnails, and then it basically lets you know which thumbnail created the best expectation for the viewer and got them into the video, and they had the longer amount of watch time. So one thing that I would experiment with there is I would experiment with a thumbnail to where it doesn't have any text on it. And I would do this with every video you upload, because your focus on the discs is so good. I would do one thumbnail where you have, just the clear focus on the disc like this and no text at all. And then I would compare that against whatever text it is that you want to put on there. And then, from there, I don't know if you have anything where you're actually like, putting them in the basket or whatever, but like, if so, then if you do have any good shots of that, I'm just kind of skimming here real quick. Yeah, just anything else, just like, a random one that might be a good fit for a disc golfer. But really, I would probably just do the two right now, because I think from grabbing attention, I think you're doing a good job here. So I would at least just do the one thumbnail with no text on it, and then compare that against the thumbnails with text, just to see if you find that people get a better response to one compared to the other. And the reason I'm saying that is because like on some of these, like the text is kind of taken away, right? Where the discs aren't as obvious, like here, right? Like, here, let me bring this one up. So here you have mid-season in the bag gear review. So here I would remove this text completely. And because you're kind of scrouched down in here, you can't really zoom in on it, that much with you in there. So you might have to do a little bit of Photoshop on here. But if you don't do Photoshop, then in that case, trying to, well, I don't know if you could twist it. That probably wouldn't look right. Maybe if you have another shot to where something is just a little bit more close up of the bag, because here you have mid-season in the bag gear review. And at a big size, it's super clear and easy to see that this has, the discs in it. But the problem is once it gets small like this, there's no, like if we go in, let me just kind of remove this real quick, because remember that the thumbnails are there to grab the attention, right? So if we were to remove the title, if you look at the thumbnail right here and it's at a smaller size, like they show up in suggested videos, then in that particular case, there's no like obvious thing here that says that it's about disc off, right? This one, you have it a little bit, but the text is actually pulling more attention than the discs. These are crushing it. Like I love these in terms of just making it obvious, but you have some here where the text is doing all the heavy lifting for you and the images are doing less. For those, I would just make modifications to those to see if you can make it a little bit more obvious that it has something to do disc off. Another thing that I want to bring to your attention too, and I'm sure that on your end that you've seen this also, but you have videos here. So you have a gear review throw form. So I don't know if you're getting search traffic from this. You can see this in your traffic sources, but I would definitely go and see like where am I pulling views from this. Here you have gear review throw form, 2.3 thousand views. Up here you have quick rips, all in new disc from the Innovative mid-range Fox, and this one's 2 weeks ago, 1.7. Based on the speed, unless this just came out and people are searching for it, I'm going to guess that this one's getting most traffic from the recommendation system. And then this one down here might be from search. But the reason I'm saying that is like you have videos here that have gotten like a higher response, much higher response, this one too, compared to the other videos. So I would go in and I would examine these a bit. And here's the things that I would look for. I would look for one, where the view's coming from, because like, for example, if you find out that this one is mostly search, then in that case, thinking like, okay, then, let me, before I make a video about a product, let me go up here. I'm just going to type in throw form review, maybe. You're number one. Look at that. So I would go in and I would look for that. But basically the idea is if you find that you are being a resource for people when it comes to search, then before you make the video, then I would come up here and I'd be like, okay, throw form A, is there anything people are looking for? Not really. B, no, doesn't look like it, anything that's related there. C, yeah, not so much. But we do have, the disc off. Yeah, so not tons of, search queries for that. Well, I mean, in terms of different ways that people might be looking for it. But when you figure out where the traffic's coming from, it just kind of helps you get an understanding of what's going on. So like, for example, if you find here, and I'm sharing this information like for everybody, right? So everybody knows. But basically, okay, so it's new and popular right now, okay. But basically, in situations like this, if you find out that you are getting search traffic, then it can let you know, like, okay, as part of my content strategy for this, let me make some of these reviews targeted towards search so that I can, you'll get recommendation traffic too, but so that I can get positioned for when people are looking for information on these, so that you can, become a source for those people. And that's just one way that will lead people into you and your channel so they can get to know you. And then for the one up here, yeah, you said this is a new one. Mid-range Fox. Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, a couple other things that I would look at. So one of the things I mentioned was traffic sources. The other thing is I would also go in and I would look in terms of how you structured these videos. Like, did you start these videos in a way in terms of what you were saying, what the viewer was seeing, what you were showing, specifically, like, are they looking at you? Are they looking at the discs? Like, what's happening when you start your videos? And I would just kind of do some comparisons against these compared to what it is that you're doing in these other ones that aren't getting as much of a response. It could simply be the timing in terms of you publish this one right when people are, super interested in this one. That kind of thing can happen too. But I would just kind of try to understand where the views are coming from, because in that case, if they're searching for it a lot, quickly, then you might be getting traffic from that. If not, then you're pulling them from, browse. And if you're pulling them from browse and you're able to hold them there, right? And you can see this also in your analytics and retention, especially, you're over 1,000 views now for this, almost 2, and almost 2 for this one too. So you have the information that you need. But basically going in and saying like, okay, how did I start these videos? What exactly was I saying that maybe I did a little bit differently when it came to some of these? So right out of the gate, I see that you're standing on a field in that one, and you're walking in a field with this one, where this one starts out a little bit shaky and you're in the woods. This one, starts out a little bit shaky also with you being in the woods. Just a couple quick things. This one also focus on the disc, but you got the field in there as well. But yeah, like I would just kind of look for any patterns like that you might notice from any of your popular videos to see if you can, just kind of see a pattern that people are responding to, better than others in terms of the actual, how you're actually formatting the videos when you're putting them together. And then another thing that I just want to check here really quick before we move on. Jim over 30 says, can I ask about how to request a live channel review? So how this works is, here in just a minute, I'm going to put up a word on the screen. All you got to do is put that word into the chat. And then when you put that word into the chat, then I have a tool here that just randomly selects somebody. And then it's going to just randomly pick someone. And then we pull them up on the channel. So that's how you do it. Let's see here. So as we scroll down here, I just want to check something. Okay. So I think you're also missing an opportunity here. And that opportunity is making some extra money from this via affiliate marketing. So I don't know if this Dry Creek Disc Golf Course is yours or not, but because YouTube is a, international thing, one thing that I would definitely do is I would look into affiliate marketing. So when it comes to affiliate marketing, for those of you that are not familiar with that, what it is it's where, like in this case, you would hop on to Amazon, or you would look for disc golf affiliate programs, and either one, you sign up for their program, and then they give you a custom link. And then it's a custom tracking link. And then when they give you that link, you will tell people that they can get that thing down in the video description. And you don't have to even make a big deal about it. Like in your case, because you're already talking about these things, you can be like, oh, yeah, hey, by the way, I got a direct link to this down in the description if you want to pick one up. And then just super easy, super passive there. And then you take that link and you put a little blurb, pick up your Fox disc off, or your Fox discs here. And then you put the link there. And then the cool thing that happens next is when you make the videos, when they're getting views, and this is awesome if you're getting good search positions, which it looks like that one video was, is as people are finding your content and they're going in and you're introducing them to some of these discs, they'll be like, oh yeah, let me check that out. And they'll click on it and then they'll buy it. And then when they buy it, you get a commission. So because of that, So what you're talking about right here, you say you're monetized at the first level. It could be possible with some retailers. I have a couple of stores that I work with regularly. Okay, on the sponsor side, that's excellent. And then on YouTube ads, that's, that first level of ads. And then what I'm talking about is a whole other thing. So with affiliate marketing, you don't have to, like, you can do affiliate marketing with your very first video on YouTube, even if you're not monetized at any level. So it's not where you're using YouTube shopping tags in order to tag products. With this, it's a completely different thing. So with affiliate marketing, here, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this down, and I'm just going to show you. So let's see here. Actually, we'll just do that. Yeah, we'll just go here. Dismiss. Go here, and that is called a Fox. I'll just do Fox Disc Golf. Disc Golf, Disc Fox. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if this is the exact product or not, but basically when you go into Amazon, right, then you see that you have all these like disc golf related things here. So basically, anytime you mention one of these in your video, then you come to Amazon. Once you are in their, partner program, then you come to Amazon, and then you will grab a link to this from the affiliate side, not from the main site. But you grab the link to it, and then you just put that link in your description. And when it comes to Amazon, it's different than other affiliate programs because Amazon is a huge storefront. So with this, how it works is they click on that link, they come to Amazon. If they buy the disc thing or not, if they buy anything within the next 24 hours, then Amazon will give you a commission on that. It doesn't matter if it's a TV or a bag of diapers. They will give you a commission on whatever it is that they buy within the next 24 hours. So because of that, this is just a really good way to add to the bottom line when it comes to being a YouTube content creator. And it's super easy to do. The only extra things that you have to do when you do affiliate marketing is there is FTC, Federal Trade Commission. They do have compliance things. So you do have to put a disclaimer in your video description saying that the links are, that some of the links are affiliate links. And then when it comes to Amazon specifically, they also have very specific language. It's a disclaimer that says that you're an Amazon associate and that you will earn from the commissions. And then if you put that in your video description, you're going to be compliant with Amazon. And that also makes you compliant with the FTC too, because you're letting them know that it's an affiliate link. But the idea is that this is going to help you be able to also generate additional income on top of the sponsor deals you're doing, on top of any ad revenue that you get once you get into that. Like it just kind of helps add to the bottom line. And depending on the views that you end up getting and like the positions on YouTube you end up getting, it can really, really, add up a lot, like a lot. So here, the popular third form video traffic came from 86 browse. Okay. 4.9% search, 3.7 external. Okay, so on the external, I don't know if that came from like Facebook or Google, but if you're also getting Google search traffic from that, that's even better, because then you have like YouTube search that's sending traffic, Google search that's sending traffic when people are looking for those things. And those are really high converting when it comes to people watching the video and clicking the links. So yeah, I would definitely look into affiliate marketing. And then when it comes to, was I even showing that? Hold on. Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I did. Okay. And then another thing that you can do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do disc golf affiliate program. And with these, you'll have to look into like their reputations and stuff yourself. But up here, we have disc golf affiliate program to where, they sell, it is the #1 retailer's affiliate program, whatever that is. And then you have a Reddit link where people are talking about it. You have here affiliates at DZ Disc, Drop Zone Disc Golfs, and so on. But the idea is this is just a great way to just add to the bottom line. This kind of stuff can pay depending on what level, like what level your channel's operating at and how much traffic you're getting, and what you're promoting. Like this can be the difference between like this just paying for just affiliate marketing, paying for your discs, or depending on how much traffic you get, or affiliate marketing, like paying off your mortgage, right? So like it can really make a big difference on the bottom line, especially if you're super hyper focused like you are from a niche standpoint. So I would definitely just, do what you like, but I would definitely just explore affiliate marketing so that you can, start implementing some of that. And it doesn't cost you anything. Like you're already buying the discs, you're already doing that. And then also, if possible, if when you do work with companies and they send you stuff, ask them if they have an affiliate program and if you can sign up for it and if you can also make commissions on that as well. So then that way it also levels up those deals that you're getting where people are sending you products or where they're paying you also. Yeah, super cool. Love your beard. Absolutely love it. All right. So, oh yeah. And one more thing. So on the thing where you said that you get a majority of your traffic coming from browse. So yeah, so what you want to do is on the videos where you're getting the traffic coming from browse, I would definitely go in and just pay really close attention to like, how did I start this? What was I saying exactly when it was opening up? What was, like how was I framed? How was the stuff in the background framed? And then start experimenting. Like, hey, if I do that exact same thing again, if possible, if you're in a similar environment, if I do something similar, do people respond, in a similar rate for that first, you know, little bit of the video for that part. And then same exact thing. So then for that next part, after you get through there, and you can look in your retention to start to see where people fall off. But like, you know, after that intro part, then, you know, then what do I do next? And see if you can kind of start to slowly put together a format that starts to consistently work for you. And some retailers offer discount codes and channels can earn from that. Okay, yeah, that's cool too. Yeah, anything like that. Like I would definitely do it, because right now it looks like you might say some of that in your videos, and I might have just not seen it because we don't watch the videos. But if you're already doing that stuff in your videos, and you're already on it. But I would definitely, like, I would also do this. Like I would either through one of the disc golf affiliate programs or through Amazon if they let you in there. Another thing is I would also put like a couple of links down there, like your must-have disc golf accessories. And then with that, it could be like, you could have one little list of like the things that you think that disc golfers should have based on the things that you love. And then you link to those. And then this is just passive. You just put them down there for when people go down to your video description for stuff. But basically you put that little block down there and you put it in all your descriptions. And then underneath that, you could have like your, you know, your favorite discs or whatever, and then have links going out to those. And then by doing that, you create this consistent block. You can see I do the same thing in mine. Like some of those are my products, some of them are sponsors, some of them are affiliate things. But basically it's a block of information that gets added to almost every video description, so that anytime somebody goes down there, then it just spreads awareness about those things and people can check them out if they want to, right? That's the idea. All right. Yeah. So you said that your, you know, retention is like a big thing. Yeah. So when it comes to retention, that's why I'm saying, like on the videos that did better, especially coming from browse, with those, basically the reason coming from browse or suggested and looking at the retention there, if those are the dominant sources of viewership, the reason that you want to look at those is because if people are coming in from those and you're able to capture their attention there, and like you're basically fulfilling that whole process, right, on the videos that do better. And then there's something. It could be the discs that you're talking about aren't as popular. It could be, you know, other things, but on the ones that aren't doing as good, there's something in that process that isn't working as well. That's why you analyze the ones that do well, and you start looking for those little details of like, you know, what did I do here? What did I do here? What did I do here? Right. And then you can start kind of repeating those patterns as you find stuff that works. You know, one way to think about it is, you know, like when you watch TV shows, you know, like let's say you watch like a sitcom or something. Like when you watch sitcoms, there's a lot of similar things that they do at the beginning, right? In terms of, you know, they'll have their little hook thing that they do, and then after their little hook thing, it's not like a YouTuber type hook, but it's just kind of setting up the story. And then they'll have their like little logo thing where they set up the whole scene and they show like, hey, you know, this is the wide shot. And then we kind of get in a little bit closer, and then now we're inside the house, those types of things. And then they'll get started, and then they introduce the different characters and, you know, whatever order they typically come in. Like there's that, you know, kind of structure that they always take people through. And the advantage of learning how to do that on YouTube is it just creates this this familiar experience for people that people just get comfortable with when they're interacting with the content. Let's see here. So next up on the list, we're going to do, actually, you know what? I was going to do disc golf, but we're going for beard on this one. Love the beard. Absolutely love the beard. Yeah. The longest mine has ever gotten is probably, I don't know, probably about here. About. I would say about, probably about like here, right? So not too long, but man, I love your beard. Absolutely love it. I struggle with that all the time. Like, man, I should just grow it, right? I should just grow it. Okay, so here's the word beard. It's on the screen. So if you are just joining us, we are looking at YouTube channels. We are giving tips on things just to kind of help you, you know, identify some stuff that maybe, you know, you're overlooking right now, or some things that you can do better. So all you have to do to participate is, this is completely free. All you have to do to participate is just put the word beard into the chat right now. And this tool that I'm using is collecting the entries. And as a reminder for this, I do want to remind you, in case you haven't seen it yet, or in case you didn't know or you haven't seen it, that I did make an app for YouTubers. You can actually see the link to it right here. Hold on, let's go to this one. Yep, you can see the some information about it right over. wherever it is over here. There it is. Okay, so right over here on this side. But basically, it's awesome. Like if you're a creator and you're doing a lot of stuff on the go, like you're doing a little bit of the stuff at work, you're doing a little bit of stuff when your downtime, a little bit of stuff in the bathroom, things like that. It's great for that kind of stuff because it all syncs up through iCloud and all that stuff as well. So even if you have like, tablets and all that stuff, it works great across everything. But yeah, check it out, newcreator.app, and then that will take you directly to the App Store, or you can search for it in the App Store as well. Okay, so so go try it. It's awesome. You'll love it. So we are at 41 entries right now. I'll give you just a second here to make sure that we get okay. And we are going to go pick a winner. Cactic. I don't even know how to say that. Cacstick? Chackstick? Chackstick football? Football? Yeah, I know it's football. I mean, I think, I don't know, maybe it's not, but I think it's chackstick. It'd be like if I'm like, let's say I go and I meet my brother D for coffee, and I'm like, dude, I ran across this channel, it's awesome. And he's like, hey, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It's a football channel, but I don't know how to say it. Okay, so here we go. Little lesson in that, by the way. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. So let's see if we can even find it. Let's go up here, search by channel, and we got you. Hey, you're approaching 1,000 subscribers. Nice work. So this looks like it's a shorts only channel. Getting some views on these. Nice, nice, nice. Looks like it's all just like reused content. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, this is all just like ripped content. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna skip this one, just because it's all ripped content. Like you're not like making stuff here. Like keep doing your thing. Like you're getting some views on some of this stuff, but like here I try to help creators that are making content. And I'm just gonna kind of pull up your short here real quick and just skip through it and make sure you're not actually like. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So so next up we're gonna try again here. So here we are going to do. Oh no, that's wrong. Stop. Reset. Here we are going to do. Because I enjoyed that golf channel so much, we're going back to disc golf. Yeah, so really quick, and somebody else mentioned it also, but yeah, just be careful with like reuse content like that. Like it's going, like you are, risking building a channel up and then YouTube taking it down. And when they take it down, the downside of that is that once you get a channel terminated on YouTube, they don't let you have any other channels. And then if you create other channels, or if you have other channels, you lose all of it. And then they have another policy. It's called like a circumvention policy, to where if you have a channel deleted ever, and then you try to create a new channel, if they detect the connection in any way, like through AdSense or through your IP in terms of your, where you're accessing YouTube from and stuff like that, then they'll take it down as well. And these types of things can happen quickly, or they can happen on a delay. So sometimes people build channels to tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they end up getting their channels deleted by YouTube, and then they go on Reddit and like all these other places, and they're like, hey, YouTube took my channel down and I don't know why. So just be mindful that when you're doing content like that, it's probably feeling awesome getting some of the views, but just keep in mind, like long term, you are risking yourself in that situation. All right, here we go. Boom, Life Less Ordinary. Let's see what we got going on here. Over here, hit YouTube, go to Life Less Ordinary. Looks like I got a new Ryan George video to watch tonight. Okay, let's go here, go to channel. Oh boy, I'm not sure which one of these you are. So Life Less Ordinary, let's see, you've got, looks like 2 people in your channel art here. So let me go and go to channel here. There we go, gotcha. Okay, Life Less Ordinary. Let's see what you got. Okay, so Life Less Ordinary does eating meat and playing in pools. Okay. So one thing really quick with that is because the letters are so close together, the kerning on those, it's like really, like it's challenging to make that out on all of this stuff. So just a little, just a little thing there. You don't have to do it, but like I would definitely just kind of increase the spacing there, just a little bit between the letters, just so you can read it at a glance. On YouTube, just a power tip here for everybody that's hanging out is when it comes to YouTube, the rule of thumb is you want to make everything as simple and easy to understand as you possibly can when people are interacting with your stuff. That's why it's so important to just kind of minimize thumbnails, minimize, what it is that's going on in your graphics, making titles clear instead of putting like a bunch of, bars and hyphens, all this stuff all over your titles. Like just making things just simple and easy for people to understand is the best thing you can do for your YouTube channel. I mean, outside of making amazing content, right? But let's do let's look at the channel itself and see what it is you got going on. Looks like you're doing some carnivore content here. Welcome to Life Less Ordinary. I had 2 different types of content here. I started documenting my carnivore journey, which I normally update on Sundays. I also do reviews of different products and teach people about index pulls. Oh, okay. Index pulls. So there's going to be a big glaring issue here, and I'm just going to go ahead and just jump straight to it and bring it to your attention. So you're doing the right thing here in terms of making it easy for people to find content that matters to them, but you are creating a situation for yourself here that's going to be that's going to make things just a little bit slower for you than they could be, because you've already got 31,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. But the problem is because you are serving different types of viewers, you are kind of working against yourself. You would probably be much further on this if you focused on one or the other. So like if it, like, are you doing carnivore stuff or are you doing pull stuff? Just that by itself will accelerate your channel. If you're like, okay, I'm just going to focus on the carnivore stuff because that seems to be, what's doing the best here at a glance. Hold on. Carnivore, pull, hardly any views, pull, hardly any views. This product got some views. Okay, a little bit of views there, not much. Carnivore, another winner. This one, not so much, but it is carnivore though. Yeah, more carnivore wins. Okay, we got some pull wins here. Yeah, really working against yourself. Okay, so the reason this is important, one, like the elephant in the room, people are responding to what it is that you're doing. Like when you publish some of these videos, like you're getting views on them. People are definitely responding. You definitely are, you're making thumbnails that people respond to, like you're doing all this stuff, right? The thing that's working against you right now is how YouTube works. That's the thing that's working against you. Here's what I mean. So if you make, let's say that I came into this video, right? 15,000 views on it. So this one's, a little bit higher from the videos, prior, actually from all the videos in this view. So let's say that this video was on my homepage and I clicked on this video, right? So we're going to call that one a winner for me because I clicked on it. And topically, this is about carnivore. So I would only click on this if if there was something about this that I was interested in, which is in this case, the carnivore stuff. The next thing is after you publish this video, if I watch this video and I engage with this video, let's say I get all the way to the end, let's say I click on an end screen and I go and I watch another one of your carnivore videos, then in that particular case, it's going to tell YouTube that, hey, this person is engaged in this channel. So even though their system is smart enough to show content in terms of topically to the right people, there's another thing that happens, and that is there's a lot of creators out there, like big creators, that do seemingly variety content, and people will just go in there for the creator themselves. And, people like Penguin and stuff like that, like he's still niched, but it doesn't seem like it, but anyway, but like they will, go in there more for the creator. So what happens is YouTube detects that, hey, people are super engaged in this. So let's show more of the content from this channel to them and see if they like it. So then what happens is, let's say that I really engage in this video, and then maybe because of this video, I end up, watching this one too. Then YouTube's like, hey, this person, watched 2 videos on this channel. They engaged, left comments, they liked them. Maybe they shared this video or saved it to like a playlist or something. This person's like really into this. So let's show them this video. Well, if I clicked into the carnivore content, there's a chance that I might like this video, that I might be interested in the tool video, but there's also a very good chance that I'm not also. So because of that, this video isn't a perfect fit for the people that are watching the carnivore content. And then here they show this one to me. Okay, we got a winner. Show this one to me. Okay, got a winner. I'm watching that one too, because I'm like trying to get into this carnivore stuff, trying to do it. Here they show this one to me. Oh, I'm just going to scroll right past it. I'm not going to even know that you made it. Not going to care. You know, I'm just going to scroll right past it. Here, cool, got it, right? So the issue here is that when it comes to having like different buckets of content on your channel, that can, you know, that is a good approach. That is effective. The thing is though, you need to make those buckets targeted towards the same type of viewer. And when you do that, like if over the next 90 days, and do with this information what you will, if I had your channel right now, over the next 90 days, what I would do is I would not publish any pull videos. I mean, first I would go through and I'd be like, okay, what's driving the channel right now? Like, what are people caring about the most? And what do I want to make the most, right? Like, what do I get into the most? And then I would pick, okay, do I want to do tool reviews for the next 90 days, or do I want to do pull stuff for the next 90 days? And whichever one it is, I would make every video, which I'm going to guess it's going to be the carnivore stuff, but I would do every video for that. And for that type of viewer, I would do that for the next 90 days and just see if it makes a difference. And the reason for that is because you have all this recent content. YouTube's testing all this content against, you know, people, you know, that they think is going to like it. And then once you start, you know, getting rid of some of these from those recent recommendations, then what's going to end up happening is everything or most of the content, because they'll still test some of this stuff because it's in your archive, but most of the content that they're going to be showing to people is going to be stuff that they are into, right? So because of that, you're going to increase the returning viewers coming back to your channel. You're going to increase the understanding of YouTube in terms of who's a perfect fit for your content. Like, yeah, that would be like over the next 90 days. If this was my channel, I would lean in all on that. If you're trying to grow the channel, if you're like, hey, I have a pull business, and because of that, I'm actually growing the channel on the carnivore and tool stuff, but I'm just trying to bring attention to the pull things because I have a pull business and I'm just throwing them in here for that. In that case, you know, you have your clear purpose for it, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're like, okay, between now and this time next year, I want to grow this by another, you know, 30,000 subscribers, or, you know, maybe even more, then in that case, if your focus is like, okay, I'm not getting these in here for these other reasons, like I'm trying to grow the channel, then in that case, like I would pick something, and it looks like the carnivore content is it at a glance, but I don't know what's driving the channel right now. But I would pick something and I would roll with it in terms of a viewer. So I'd pick a viewer and I'd be like, okay, you know, what is the thing that they care about? And I would give them that. And with the pull stuff, yeah, this is another thing. Look at this. So with the pull stuff, right, you've had these videos that have done great on the pull side, and then from there you introduce the other stuff too. So yeah, you're in a real pickle here in terms of making that choice. I mean, you don't have to make the choice, but if you are wanting to accelerate everything in terms of like your, you know, average view counts, the growth of the channel overall, all of that stuff, I would pick a lane. If this was my channel, I would pick a lane, and I would stay in that lane for at least the next 90 days. And I would go into that lane hard. So the thing that you have working against you here, not working against you, but I don't know if any of these are still getting like lots of views or not, but you know, like this was a year ago, which is kind of recent. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 8 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. So there's nothing really recent up here in the top videos list, but we do have a carnivore video that is recent in the top videos list within the year. If we keep going down, let's see. Yeah, all of this stuff. No. More, 7 months. Okay, we got another one. Another top video recently. Oh, I thought that was 7 months too, but it's not. That was also carnivore. And then if we keep going, and we're looking for recency here, right? 2 months. Okay, so we're getting there. 6 months, another one. Okay, we have a pull one. Okay, so we got one of those. I'm just gonna make this one gray so it'll clearly stand out as something different. Yeah, so none of these. And then we start getting into some of the lower counts here. So this one's 2 months ago, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. Yeah. So if we look at what's happening like now on your YouTube channel, or we'll say more recently, like it looks like the carnivore content in terms of, the things that are getting the most views, also 6 months, 2 months. Okay. So we got another one here. We'll give that one a gray. So with the exception of like a few outliers, the stuff that has been driving the channel the most within the last year looks like it's the carnivore content. So you had like 2 pool videos pop in the last year. And then everything else comparatively, against your top videos. And then everything else is dated with the exception of the carnivore content. So yeah, so if this was my channel, and again, if you have your reasons for doing the other stuff, it's perfectly fine. Like there are no rules, right, in that regard. But like if you're like, hey, I would love to just kind of crank up the notch on this thing. If this was my channel, do whatever you want. But if this was my channel, I would lean into the carnivore content, and I would just go all in on that for the next like 6 months to a year, and then I would be known as a carnivore guy. I would change all of this branding, like everything would be like, I'll show you how to get the most out of your carnivore diet. And then have everything just carnivore, 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 carnivore. I'm not saying to delete your other videos. If this was my channel, if I was going to go in that direction, I would run that test for like 90 days or more. And then, as long as it was steering the ship in that direction, which it would, then in that case, I would reconsider after that 90 days if I should even leave the other content on the channel or not. Because if I was trying to move in that direction, I would say, okay, if I am going to make this a carnivore channel, then why would I have poll videos on the channel for like, what's the reason to keep those on there? Right. So I would just consider, that kind of stuff. And the reason for that is just simply, based on how YouTube works. And I'm going to do a quick search for you because, this is all great coming from me, but hold on. I want to show you something, how YouTube works. And let's see if I can find this fast enough. But basically, YouTube has information, just documentation. Some of it is like the Google Help pages. Some of it is just stuff they publish for the press and just for people to know. But let's see here. So some of the information that they have, let's see here, watch next. Let's go to this. Okay, so that says what it is. Yeah, there's a very specific thing that I'm going to show you that's officially from YouTube. So I'm on youtube.com, how YouTube works /recommendations is where I'm at right now. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for information here that will show you what I'm talking about. Provide additional context about events. Blah, blah, blah. Managing recommendation search results, YouTube recommendation system. Let's go here. And then we're going to scroll down. Okay. If you want, you can find recommendations work 2 main places. Homepage up next. Personalized recommendation, description, news. Watch the videos. Give me 1 second here because I'm trying to find this for you. And this is just really good information for everybody here to know. And if I can find this quick enough, this is also going to explain why you always hear people who make content, helping YouTubers, why we always talk about focusing on a particular type of viewer. But give me 1 second here. Let's say you're watching cooking videos. Frustrating homepage recommended latest sports and music. System ranked videos based on blah, blah, blah. Okay, we start with the knowledge that everyone has unique viewing habits. Our system then compares your viewing habit. Okay, here we go. Okay, so basically it says that for their recommendation system, they give a little bit of a story here. And they say back in 2008, when we first started building our recommendation system, the experience was entirely different. Let's say that you mostly watch cooking videos. Wouldn't it be frustrating if your homepage only recommended the latest sports and music videos to you because they had the most views? That was YouTube in the early days. The system ranked videos based on popularity to create one big trending page. Not a lot of people watched those videos. The majority of YouTube's viewership came from searches or shared links off of platform. So to do this, to refine it, they start with the knowledge that everyone has unique viewing habits. Our system then compares your viewing habits with those that are similar to you and uses that information to suggest other content that you may want to watch. So if we put that into the context of the carnivore versus pool content. So if you have an entire channel that every video you publish, you only have carnivore people clicking on it, then the likelihood of anybody that goes onto YouTube that speaks your language, and if you're dubbing, then that speaks those languages, the likelihood of anybody coming onto YouTube as you fine tune this, that is interested in carnivore content, the likelihood, if they start watching it or searching for carnivore content, the likelihood of your content showing up to them drastically increases, because everybody that's interacting with your channel is somebody that's into that content. So when they're doing this here, another example that they give is like, say you like tennis videos and our system notices that others who like the same tennis videos you also enjoy jazz videos, you may get recommended jazz videos. That's why when you are in your suggested videos, things like that, that's why you sometimes will see recommendations from like weird stuff to where you're like, that's not related to my content. It's because of this right here. This is just another little bit of information for you guys, but it's because of this right here. So YouTube is trying to locate your viewers on the platform, not necessarily connect your video. I mean, they do connect your videos to videos topically, but they also look for your videos or for your viewers wherever they are on YouTube. But the idea is that when you are there's more here. Hold on. For example, sports highlights from my youth, our recommendations. I've known these videos were available. Yeah, so they have more detailed information here where they connect those dots a little bit better. It might be right here. To provide such custom curation, a recommendation doesn't operate off of a recipe book of what to do. It's constantly evolving, learning every day from 80 billion pieces of information that we call signals. That's why providing more transparency isn't as simple as listing a formula for recommendation, but involves understanding all the data that feeds into our system. A number of signals build on each other to help inform our system about what YouTube finds satisfying, or what you find satisfying: clicks, watch time, survey responses, sharing, likes, and dislikes. And then here, clicking on a video provides a strong indication that you will also find it satisfying. After all, you wouldn't click on it if it's something you don't watch. But we learned that it doesn't mean that if you watched it that you like it. So then they're going to say somewhere down here that they also switched it to watch time probably. But we learned back in 2011 that clicking on a video doesn't mean that you actually watched it. Let's say you were searching for highlights from that year's Wimbledon match. You scroll through the page and you click on one of the videos, which has a thumbnail and title suggesting it shows footage of the match. Instead, it's a person in their bedroom talking about the next match. You next click on a video in our system that recommends in our up next panel, only to find another fan talking about the match. Again and again, you click through these videos until finally you recommend a video where the footage of the match you want to watch. That's why they added watch time in 2012. So the idea they're trying to express is that the reason that they weigh so heavily on watch time is because if people are using that stuff in order to, like, if they're using the topics to grab the attention, but they're not giving the viewer what they want, then they abandon the videos quickly, which translates into the viewer not being satisfied. And if the viewer's not satisfied, then they're not going to keep coming back to YouTube if they're having a bad experience. Therefore, they fine-tune it to also include the watch time. And that's why how long people watch your videos is also important. So they need to click and they need to watch your videos because of this. And then as we go down here, let's see here. What I'm looking for is the connection. And they touched on it a little bit earlier, but basically I'll share this here just in case you guys want to look at this also, because it's just interesting to read through this and just kind of connect those dots. But basically the whole idea is that when you are, making content, when you fine tune your channel and you turn your channel into a resource for a certain type of viewer that's interested in specific things, then in that case, it helps all of their, like, everything that their system is doing around your channel. It kind of fine tunes it in terms of like, okay, now we know that every time we show, these videos to these types of people, a certain percentage of these people are going to click, right? That's the whole thing. So when it comes to this channel, Life Less Ordinary, the whole reason, and for everybody else here, the whole reason I've been kind of, hammering on the whole idea of focusing in on audience is because of that, right? Because every viewer that comes in that interacts with the poll content, like YouTube's probably doing a good job of showing the poll content to more poll people and stuff like that, but they're also going to be doing crossover and showing them some of these and showing them some of these. And when those types of things happen, they're just going to scroll right over them. If it's happening in their phone, they're just going to scroll past in the mobile feed. If it's happening on a TV, they're just going to glide right past. On a computer, they're going to glide right past, because if it's not something that they care about, they're not going to click on it. But if every video is something that they care about, then it makes it super easy for people to binge watch your channel. Super easy. And it also makes it easy for YouTube to just know exactly who to show the content to. Yeah, here too, right? Even, your most popular videos in the last 90 days, you have one poll video, and then everything else. If we look here, carnivore, I lost 60 pounds here when I eat what I eat in a day, and then you have the carnivore in the thumbnail. which is smart, by the way, putting the word carnivore up there and then kind of building the stuff around it. And then I did 1 meal a day for carnivore for 7 days. Yeah. So the only outlier here was this poll video, and it did well. You got 15,000 views on it, but this is bringing in 15,000 people that don't care about the carnivore stuff, right? That's why I like considering. And again, if you have reasons for everything and all that stuff, it's perfectly fine. Or if you're just like, hey, I just want to make videos about different stuff, that's also perfectly fine. The only reason I'm bringing all this stuff to your attention is because people are responding well to what it is that you're doing. And I think that, if you made some changes, that there's a really good chance you could accelerate things in terms of, how people are responding to what it is that you're doing. And not just that, but as a part of that, because of specifically what it is that they're responding to and the transformation it looks like you've had personally, I think you really have an opportunity here to, one, help a lot of people, with something that matters, polls matter too, but, in terms of like their health and things like that, like you have an opportunity here to really make like a big impact, but also to, get known for, somebody that's, that does that. So if somebody's like, hey, what are the best carnivore channels I should go check out? If they're asking a friend or something that is just getting into it, like your name will come up on that list. It might already, but just fine tuning things. Yeah. If this was my channel, I would totally lean into that. But of course, do what you like. but I just, I just see a lot there. So because of that, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of those things. That's why I spent so much time on this one. Just because, yeah, because those types of things are the things that, like, when you make those types of changes, they can make a really big difference. Okay. So the next one, so if this is your first time here, you're just joining us, all you have to do to participate is you put the word focus into the chat right now. And then when you put the word, hey, Magic Flying Potato, what's up, man? When you put the word focus into the chat, then what's going to happen is it is going to add you to this list right here. As you can see, we just had one pop in, and then they'll start coming in now. And then this is going to randomly select people. And then you only have to, put it in there one time, and then it'll add you to this list, and then it'll pick it, and then we'll see who gets pulled up here, and then we'll look at your channel. Yeah, and also by adding that, you're you're saying like, hey, it's perfectly fine for you to come on here and like grill my stuff. Yeah, I think I got that super chat earlier, Doug. I think so. Yeah, and as a reminder too, just in case, for those of you that are just joining the stream right now that didn't hear me say anything about it earlier, I did make an app for YouTubers. You can find out information about it here. If you're watching on a TV or just somewhere where it's easier to scan the QR code, you can do so right here. Or if you want to learn more about that app, you can go to newcreator.app, which you will see right down here. But it's an app for YouTubers, helps you with all kinds of stuff. Content planner in there, gives you thumbnail feedback. And with that, when you upload a thumbnail, and then basically it gives you a report back on things that, that could improve the thumbnail. It's got a title generator that uses different titling strategies. This is best used if you do it before you make the video, but it gives you different titling strategies on like different ways that you can, approach the video and stuff. But really, really cool stuff in there. But you can check that out at newcreator.app. Okay, here we go. Magic flying potato. All right, here we go. What's up, Brad? Hope you're doing great, man. So let's see here. Hey, Brad, are you going to Vid Summit this year? I think you are. I think I saw that. I think you saw. Yeah, Jim says it's a paid app. Yes, it is a paid app. I have like APIs and services that I'm paying for with the app that are like, for example, like when you do the thumbnail thing, like I've taken my 11 years of knowledge when it comes to thumbnails, and I've put it into prompts, and then basically that prompt gets sent to as like a package with your thumbnail to an AI, and then that AI returns it all with all of that information coming back to it based on the prompts that that I've put in there. And same thing with like the titles and all that stuff, and with YouTube's APIs, because you have the option. You don't have to connect your YouTube channel, but if you do, then you get like a a few like extra things. But those things too are also things that are like some of those things. Like if I don't limit it, then they can kind of get out of hand really fast. So yeah. Shark Scrapper says worth every penny. Thank you. Glad you are enjoying it. Okay, so Magic Flying Potato, the luckiest person on earth. He won a ticket to Vid Summit. So he's been a volunteer, and I think he's won a ticket like 2 years in a row. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so here we go. So craft, build, explore, fight, survival gaming. So it's survival gaming content. 7,000 subscribers, approaching 8. Nice work. Let's see here. I make survival game content, guides, live streams, and gameplay, working full-time, and content on spare time. And enjoying it. U.S. Army veteran. Awesome. So let's see here. So as we go down, okay, so these are bringing attention that these are coming. So in that particular case, you're trying to bring attention to them, so it's fine. But I would, it's fine, because you're using YouTube's recommendation system here, which is great. And then here you're doing this so that you can get viewers in there, which is also cool. And then your videos after that. So yeah, this setup is fine. I think that what you're doing with your thumbnails here, as long as like this is clearly game imagery, but I don't know within these games like Dawn of Defiance if there are any like special characters, anything that you could kind of leverage, because you have the logo in here, which gets a little bit lost over here on this side. Like if we make it big, oh hey, you're testing your thumbnails, that's good. Oh yeah, so this is the other version. Okay, yeah, your Dawn of Defiance stands out a little bit more here. So I'd be curious with that A/B test, which one's doing better. But yeah, what I was getting ready to say is that the Defiance part up here gets kind of cut off if you are going to leverage the logo for the thing that grabs attention. Let's see here. You're using your playlist, which is great. You got your past live streams on here. Okay, all of that's good. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. Okay, Dawn of Defiance, heading to port and surrounded. Okay, so I don't know if you were in here when we were looking at the gardening channel. Shannon Grows, I think, that was the name of the channel. Let's see here. Alexander Mason was just carrying that for you. Appears not sure. Permissions granted to rip me a new one. Appreciate the time put in this today. Maybe I did miss the super chat. So let me see if I can hunt that down. There's a tool that I can use to see if I did miss that. I'll look for that as soon as this is finished. Okay, so one thing that I would do in your case, you have like, Dawn of Defiance returning a year later and like episode 1. I wouldn't worry about the episode numbers. I would also try to make this a little bit more compelling. The reason I mentioned the gardening channel earlier is because we went through a whole thing about, like when you make a video, especially if you're going after recommendations on YouTube, like you're going to be competing on YouTube's homepage with like everything that YouTube thinks that person is likely to watch, based on their interest at that moment in time. And oh, that'd be awesome, Doug. Thank you. And because of that, you have to make the content like not just informative. Like informative is okay, and that's what you're doing. So you're not, like I mentioned to her, it's not that you're doing something wrong, but to improve things. One thing that I would do with yours is, when it comes to your actual titles themselves, is think to yourself, like, okay, if somebody were to see this on YouTube's homepage that was into this game, and they see Dawn of Defiance returning a year later, what about them? Like right now, they might think like, oh, that looks like it might be interesting, but how can you frame that in a way that would change it from like, oh, that looks like it might be interesting to, oh, I got to check this out, right? Because when you can make that change in terms of the packaging so that it makes somebody feel like, oh, I need to check this out, then by doing that, the packaging becomes like instantly more impactful, right? Because again, what you're doing here is you are being informative, which is cool, and it is the right thing to do. But if we're trying to ramp this up, then in that case, trying to think like, okay, how can I make this more impactful? Because right now I think this would just be easy to skip over, right? And also another thing that I wouldn't do is unless, and I'll put a caveat here, like if you have a lot of people that are returning to these videos, which, you know, it doesn't look like there's a lot, you know, at this moment in time, then in that case, I wouldn't even worry about putting episode numbers in here. And the reason for that is because these can be a turnoff as well. So if you have like a big, you know, community and they like come in and watch all your videos and stuff like that, then you can get away with this stuff a little bit more because you have those initial users that can, you know, give YouTube the information it needs to kind of really get this out there. But when it comes to, you know, like a new viewer that's never interacted with the content before, in that case, when they see like episode 13, it's like, it almost kind of damages the accessibility, right? Because then it's like, oh wait, I got to catch up on 13 other videos possibly for this one to be relevant at all. So it just kind of creates this gap in terms of, you know, like I got to catch up before, you know, I might get the fullness out of this video. So because of that, I wouldn't put the episode numbers in here. And I would work on the compelling side of this. So like, you know, heading to the port in surround dead, you know, again, like it's informative, like, hey, this is what I'm doing in this game. Perfect. But heading to the port in surround dead, like, I don't know what's in the video, but I'm just using this as an example. Heading to the port in surround dead, you won't believe what I found. Instantly, that becomes, for anybody that's interested in this game, that instantly becomes like, oh, I wonder what they found. Right? Instead of it's like, oh, this guy's just heading to the port. I've headed to the port myself a million times. I know what that looks like. Instead of, you know, that, it's, oh, I wonder what they found. Wonder what's happening here. So the idea is that you are taking it from like, oh, this is, you know, this seems like it might be interesting, or, you know, I might have done that before, to like, oh, okay. Like I want to check this out. Like that's what you're going for. Okay. Say it makes sense. I was on the line of putting in episode numbers. Yeah. To completely remove the episode numbers. And then also when it comes to things like this, right? Like here you have, you know, grounded update 0.1.3. So this one you have 867 views on. So this one's done better than some of them, like these patch videos. It looks like this one did too. And this one down here. So that's good that people are responding to those. Do those as much as you can. But I would also experiment here. And I'm going to guess you are, because if you're A/B testing some of these other ones, then you're probably A/B testing this one too. Nope, doesn't look like you are, or you've already selected it. But like in situations like this too, I would just kind of experiment with, because it's already about the update, but just trying to make it to where if you're going to leverage the logo, just to where it stands out a little bit more. Because here, like at the top, you can see how the update 0.1.3 is the thing that stands out more than anything else. But the grounded thing, or grounder, what is that? Grounded? Yeah, grounded. That's the thing that's going to make the connection. Right? In terms of, I'm on my homepage, right? Let's open one up. I'm on my homepage and I'm just scrolling through like, hey, what's going on? Oh, hey, I recognize him, Ryan George. I might click on that one. Then I'm scrolling down, looking for stuff. Hey, if I'm looking for chill music for work, okay, I got that, because I usually am listening to music at this time. Oh, wow, they got the guy. Huh, look at that. Interesting. Let's see here. So as we scroll down, okay, like here's a great example. Like, see how this Premiere Pro logo is the focus of this? And it's so much the focus that even though the yellow would typically grab your full attention here, the yellow actually seems dulled down a little bit, and they've actually brought, you know, they've actually pumped up this Premiere Pro logo over here. You know, I can actually do this better. Premiere Basics. And then we go here. There we go. So like here, right, you can see how, you know, the yellow is here, but they really pumped this up, and they're even pointing over to it, right? So the thing that grabbed my attention instantly here at a glance was this, right? So the idea is this person here is trying to reach people that are interested in Premiere Pro. So because of that, they focused on the Premiere Pro logo, right? And then it instantly, like as I'm scrolling, right, just casually looking for something to watch, it's like, bam, right? It stands out. So if you're going to use logos in your content, let me make sure that we're even able to see that. Yeah. Okay. So make sure in your content that when you are, you know, for everybody, when you are leveraging logos to be the thing that helps the viewer that you're trying to reach connect with your content, make sure that those logos are the things that stand out. And by doing that, it's going to make it easier for the people that you're trying to reach to be able to, to be able to be like, oh, this is about something I care about, just like that, just like that Premiere Pro logo that I just shared. So hopefully that made sense. And then one more thing too, I'm just curious, just kind of see what it is that you got, seeing what you got going on here. Return dead finds after that, more dead finds. Okay, good. Yeah, your link in playlists so they can easily find more too. Good. And you got some other stuff in here, got some affiliate stuff. That's great. Hey, just a heads up. Yeah, it looks like yeah, I'm not sure what this is. This is a little bit confusing down here, the updated 2024. All that is great. Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so really, man, like in your case, like I would work on just kind of framing things, right? Like how can I frame all of this stuff in a way it's going to be a little bit more compelling? How can I, focus on? I'm going to show you one more example here. So this video right here, this Replit video. So this is going to do well just because there's a lot of Replit users. But Replit, in case you guys don't know, it's like a tool that people use to build things with AI. So with this, because I use this, I'm building so I have my new creator app, and then I'm also building like a web version for it, and I'm using Replit to help me do that. And here they have Agent 3 as the focus, in my opinion. If they had Replit, which they still have it on here, and that Replit eventually is what caught my eye. But if Replit was up here instead, I believe that this video would do better. And the reason for that is because if this shows up in a suggested video, small, you're not going to be able to see that Replit. You're just going to see the Agent 3. And since this video is introducing the Agent 3, you already have to know what that Agent 3 is for that to matter, which I already do because I've already watched some of the videos on it, but and used it today. But I'm already familiar with that, so it makes sense. But down here, based on the title, Replit Agent 3 is insane, full breakdown and test, they're trying to bring attention to it. So because of that, doing the Replit would be a better move up there if they're trying to connect with Replit users. I just saw that, so I thought it was funny. Super funny video down here in the corner, looks like. All right, so next up. Okay, so if you are just joining us, and Doug, let me see here. So Doug, I believe, dropped in the chat that super chat that I missed. Homekeeping channel, welcome to chat. Better late than never. All good. Welcome to the stream. So let me see if I can find it here. Andy says, anyone know what plugin Nick's using here? Yeah, so this is one I built for myself for when I'm doing channel reviews, but I have one that I'm going to be releasing to the public soon. It's free. To where, for example, how I'm comparing thumbnails and stuff like that, it has that stuff built into it. How I have over here, how I have this stuff over here, it's got some of these things in here, and it gives you just some information on the channel and, those types of things as well. It's also like a dashboard. So I don't believe that I have the most current version in here, but while I'm looking for Doug's thing, I'm just going to check real quick because I might. And I can just show it to you really quick, but it's super cool. No, I don't have it yet. Oh, yeah, I do. Right here. So I'm going to download this real quick and then I'll show it to you. But first, I'm looking for what Doug mentioned here. And what I'm getting ready to do, by the way, just so you know, is here in just a minute, I'm going to put a word up on the screen. And when I put that word up on the screen, all you have to do in order to get your channel pulled up is you just put that word into the chat. And then if you put that word into the chat, then what that tells me is that it's okay for me to look at your channel. And then as a part of that, the tool that I'm using is going to randomly select somebody that puts that word in the chat. So that's how that works. And really quick here, let me go into this. And then I'm going to go load unpacked. And go here, see, oh, okay, this is the older version, so you're not going to see all the, oh yeah, I don't have all the cool stuff in this one, but you can still see it. I'll still show it to you. But let's go back to here, look for that chat that I missed. Okay, it says, hey Nick, I'm a cooking channel posting one long video weekly, debating if I should switch to 2 long videos or use that time to create shorts instead. That's a really good question. And this is from Xander Mason. So when it comes to deciding on the content to publish, one of the things that I would definitely think about is like what you're trying to do. Because when it comes to shorts, like there is value in shorts in terms of, you know, it's quicker to make, you know, it's easier. You can, you know, publish a lot of them. And, you know, sometimes people will cross over from shorts into long form. But I would just think about like, you know, what am I trying to do? Like if you're trying to get monetized, for example, here, I'm actually just going to look at the channel here, Xander Mason. I'm just going to pull you up here real quick. See if it pops up. Okay. Xander Mason cooking. So you say that you are a cooking channel. Okay, perfect. Okay. So you're taking this seriously. So I can see with your thumbnails and stuff and like, yeah, you're not playing around here. So yeah, in your case, because you're not monetized yet, what I would do is I would make the long form videos because that's where your monetization is going to come from on this channel. I mean, you might be able to get it through shorts, but based on the current view counts that you're getting on your shorts, you've had some recent ones that have done well. And then you have, so you have some shorts that have done well, but most of them are, you have 3 that are over 10,000 views. So the likelihood of you getting the requirements through the views in order to get monetized via shorts is going to be extremely low right now. So because of that, I would focus on the long form content. And I would focus on the long form content for a number of reasons. One, with what it is that you're doing, you'll be able to, to really stack up your watch time on this. And here, I'll just show it so people know what I'm talking about. But one, you'll be able to stack up your, watch time here, which will help you meet the watch time requirements, which a lot of people have trouble with. If you've already got the watch time requirements, I'm not sure. If you do, then in that case, if you've already got the watch time, then the shorts can help you get subscribers quickly. So then you have subscribers over there, but you get the watch time, from the long form. But basically, I would go after the long form content so that you can, one, learn how to make it in a way that people do respond to it at the best level. That comes down to you making, making sure that the content ideas are solid, making sure that, you're learning how to package things, which I believe that you're already doing a great job there. And then from there, making sure that you're learning how to do everything effectively in the video content by, when you have, videos that do well, like when you have videos that are like, 29 views, you can't get a lot of information from them. But when you have videos that do 3,000 views, 1.4 and 1, these videos, these videos contain a lot of information that you can use in the new videos that you're publishing, because these are videos that people responded to well. So as long as these weren't seasonal, which I don't think that they were, in terms of like, hey, a lot of people are looking for these things around this time, that kind of stuff. But as long as these aren't seasonal, then in that case, how you started these videos and all of that, which it looks like here, you're on camera first, in terms of what YouTube is showing me. Yeah. So it looks like you're on camera first. And then on some of your recent videos, it looks like you are focusing on the food first. So it's good that you're experimenting. But one thing that I would do is I would go in and I would look at like the retention on these in the first 30 seconds compared to the retention on these in the first 30 seconds. And then I would see what it was that you were doing in these videos, which right now it looks like you were on camera, and that might be a difference. But whatever it was that you were doing in these videos, I would try to repeat it and see if you can, get that consistent result. So I would do that first. But basically, let me back up. So the reason that I would go into the reason that I would go after the long form is because, like, when it comes to cooking videos, you have the opportunity to drive people into playlists to where you can say, like, at the end of your videos, like, hey, if you're looking for more, like on this grilled cheese one, I don't know what you did at the end. But at the end, you can say, hey, if you're looking for more, quick snacks, and it's too late on this video because you already made it. But for future videos, you can start planning it out. Like, okay, I'm going to make like a snacks playlist, like a quick to make snacks playlist, like the grilled cheese or quick meals, however you view a grilled cheese. But like, I'm going to make these quick, snack playlist, and I'm going to, fill that up with snack content. I'm going to make these like quick dinner meal, videos, things like that. But basically start making your content, instead of thinking of it like I'm making one video, think of it like I'm going to be making a series of videos that are somehow related to each other. And then I'm going to be putting those videos into a playlist. And then at the end of each one of those videos, I'm going to be sending people into that playlist. And the whole idea there is you start making the content bingeable. So then by doing that, what you're doing is you are making it to where for the people that get to the end, which are the most engaged people, that they can easily watch more content and kind of get lost in your content, watching more of your videos. So one, I would study the heck out of the videos that did well in the formatting and what people were seeing, you know, when they first came into the videos, and basically your whole entire process there. Do that, and then I would also start building your videos out, you know, in series, in terms of, you know, like I'm making like themes that I'm going to be putting into, you know, a playlist, so that I can start sending people into there, so you can start creating those binge watching sessions. And then as another part of that, I would also make sure, like right now, I would go into like this video, if it's still getting views, this how to upgrade a grilled cheese video. Like I would go into this video right now and I would put a pinned comment here leading people into a playlist of other videos that would be related to somebody that is making a grilled cheese. Here you've got this like perfect chicken katsu in 3 easy steps. So one thing that is important to think about when it comes to food content is there's foodies, and then there's also people that are just making some food. There's a big difference between those people. Like I make food, I'm not a foodie. So if I saw this upgrade a grilled cheese video, I would be like, okay, let's see what this is all about. And I would check this out, which I might check it out later because it's in my watch history now. But, you know, if I was going to, you know, check this out, then I would come in here and I'd be like, okay, check this out. And then at the end of this, if you recommend another video to me, that's just like an easy thing. Like I have no idea what chicken katsu is, but if it was another easy thing like this that you had on the channel, then, you know, if I enjoyed this video, I'm probably going to watch that one too. Right. Because I'm like, oh, that was great. I learned how to level up my grilled cheese. How can I level up a peanut butter and jelly? Right? Like that's the type of thing that you want to think about when you're linking content. But when you're building out playlists, you want to think that same exact thing. But I would be taking that approach with the long form content, and the goal there would be to increase the amount of videos that people are watching, so that you can, you know, keep collecting that watch time. But first, analyze the heck out of these videos that did well, and start really digging into how you structured everything in those videos. What did I say when the video started? After that, what did I say? Right? And start really paying attention to all the details of those videos that did well, and then try to replicate them. Because it looks like you made a switch here to not being on camera. Here you're on camera. Okay. This one's got 1,000 views on it. Hold on. I'm just looking for any more that you might be on camera, and all I'm seeing is ones where you're not. So yeah, your personality by itself might be something that's carrying these videos, and it also separates you. So here 960, so it's on the higher end, but it's not, you know, not over 1,000, but it's getting close. Got a little side view there. Yeah. So I would just look for those types of things. Just look for those patterns, right? This one's lower, but you are on camera when this one starts. But you know, like this whole like lean in thing that you do, and I know this sounds stupid, but like the whole lean in thing that you're doing in some of these, you know, like that type of thing that seems to have, you know, worked in a few videos. Even experiment with that. Like, hey, if I do this, right? If I'm leaning into it and I'm like coming in like, hey, like, yeah, those types of things are things that, you know, people respond to. So yeah, just to back up, study the video formats that worked, try to apply them to new content. While you're doing that, try to think about how you can build out playlists based around different ways that people eat food. Like for example, your breakfast playlist, right? Your fake bananas, your fake pancakes playlist. So you have like, you know, your breakfast playlist, a lunch playlist, you know, meals in under certain amounts of times playlists, those types of things. And then from there, if you nail the format, and you can get people to, you know, to respond, you know, as well as they did on some of those other videos that are increasing in views, or that have the higher views, and you can feed people into playlists, then your watch time requirements will get there really quick. And then once you get to the watch time requirements, because you're doubling up your videos there, once you get to that, if you haven't hit the subscriber requirements yet, that's when you would shift and you would say, okay, while I'm doing these, I'm going to try to find some time to get some shorts over there too, as long as people are subscribing from your shorts, because shorts are typically pretty easy to get subscribers from. So if that's the case with your channel, which you can see it in your stats, then in that case, that moment is when you would say, okay, now that I've got all the watch time that I need from here, and I'm like strategically taking the approach on how I'm designing the content that's going out onto this channel and when it's going out, and how I'm intentionally trying to feed people through, you know, my playlist and all of that. While all of that's happening and you get the watch time requirements, if you don't have the subscribers yet, then adding shorts to that is something that you would consider at that point. that'd be the approach that I would take for getting this monetized as fast as possible. But yeah, I just want to let you know really quick though, like it's clear from the outside. Like as soon as this loaded up, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's taking this seriously. And you get it in terms of imagery. Like what you have here in terms of like how you're focusing on this and stuff for, for some people, this is going to look like obvious. For other people, it's not, but like I look at a lot of channels. Like I study YouTube, like, for fun, as stupid as that sounds. I do it for work, plus doing these channel reviews and everything. And like, your imagery and how you're putting everything together, like I really think that you have potential, and like your videos all look good and everything. So like, yeah, like I would definitely, I would, like you said, you're taking it seriously, and I recommend that you do too, because I think that you definitely have a big opportunity here on YouTube. All right, so next up, so we are going to do another one here. So how this works is I'm going to put food into the chat here. I mean, I'm not putting real food, like, hey, here's a grilled cheese, into the chat. Wouldn't that be great if we could just deliver food that way? I wonder if we'll ever get like 3D printable food. How cool would that be? Where you could just get like on the food channel that we were just looking at there with Xander, where it could be like, hey, I really like that recipe. I want to try it. And you can just download like a 3D thing of it and then like just print it out in your kitchen. Okay. Do I see TubeSpanner in here? I do. TubeSpanner, what's going on? I don't know if that's Danielle or Stanley or who, but what's going on? Hope that you're doing great. Okay, so here we go. Boom, indoor cycling fitness. And just a reminder to everybody, in case you haven't checked it out yet, I have an app that I put out for content creators. You can find out everything you need to know about it right here. It helps you with all kinds of stuff. If you're a YouTuber and you have an iPhone, you should check out this app. It has a free thing, so you can go in there. It's completely unlimited for free, where you can try it out for a week. And if you like it, then there is a paid thing. You pay for it. But if you don't like it, no worries at all. But you should definitely try it out. So and just see if it's for you. See if you find it helpful. If you do, awesome. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. But you should definitely check it out because it'll help you in a bunch of different ways. Okay, so indoor cycling fitness. Let's go over to YouTube here. See what we got. And it is not coming up here. So indoor cycling fitness, I need to make that show an avatar. Okay, looking for indoor cycling fitness so that I can, I think it's this one. But indoor cycling fitness, if you can just say something here real quick, just so I can confirm if this is you. Let's see here. Indoor cycling fitness, indoor cycling fitness, indoor cycling fitness. Where you at? Where you at? Indoor cycling fitness. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I think this is you. Okay. Yep. This is you. Okay, great. Okay. Got it. Okay. So let's look. So stay fit at home. Super cool. Indoor cycling. Oh, okay. So, okay. Got it. Okay. So you're like on a bike with a computer in front of you, or like a screen in front of you. Is what it looks like. Okay, super cool. Okay, got it. Stay fit at home, ride and subscribe. Love it. Okay, 30 more indoor cycling, fat burn, and cardio. Oh, so you're making me riding videos. Love it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, you got 11 videos. You're just getting started. Okay, indoor cycling workout. I think it's clear in terms of what you're doing there. And you have the people down here on the exercise bike, so it's clear that they're on the bike. I think all of these things are great. In terms of your packaging here, 40, yeah, so you're basically a utility channel where people are going to come to you in order to use these videos to, to do their fitness. I think, I think this is great. A couple things. Don't worry about using the emoji on here. That's not going to like help you or add value to the viewer in any way. So I wouldn't worry about putting that at the front of your title. If you want to put it at the end or something, that's fine if you want to do it for fun. But I wouldn't put that at the very beginning of your title. Make it to where it's just super easy to read. 2, right now, when it comes to your titles, let me open this up. So right here, if you look at this, it says 60-minute indoor cycling, fat burn and cardio workout in South Tyrol, Lapago to Gaius IT. Not sure what that is. That might be another emoji or something. I'm not sure. But basically, a few things, just so you know. On suggested videos, this is getting cut off. Okay, so on suggested videos, basically, when somebody's watching a video on YouTube on a computer, it's over to the right, on a computer. On phones, it's underneath, so you're fine there. But on computers, this is getting cut off in suggested videos, which means that it's going to stop for them in terms of the context that they can gain from your video, fat burn and cardio workout and south. So they're not going to see any of the rest of this, but hopefully this will do it. And then here, this part here is getting cut off on home pages, right? So if this is important context, then I would reformat this to be shorter. But one thing to consider when it comes to titles is it's best practice to just write a title, right? Instead of adding, the bar and then, adding the additional stuff, you can do that. And it's okay, but it's better if you can find a way to just make it like one super easy to read thing, like a headline of some kind. And then by doing that, again, it's just quick, easy context, readability is through the roof. It just makes it super easy to understand what's going on. So because of that, I would, try to figure out a way to, do that if possible. If you can't, not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. But I would do that. And I would also look at optimizing this. Other things to think about is here you have these locations. One thing I would experiment with here is you have 60-minute indoor cycling, fat burn, and cardio workout. One, just removing the location. I would experiment with that. But another thing that I would experiment with is, and this is on some of the videos, right? Like this is to try different things because you're just getting started right now. You got to figure out what works for your viewers. So another thing that I would try is instead of giving the exact location, describe the scenery because it's going to be the scenery that they're going through. So here, the South Tyrol, the Lapago, in order for this to really matter to somebody and make them go like, oh, I want to go ride through that, they have to know what that is. One qualifier. Another qualifier is they have to be so interested in it that they want to cycle through it, right? So mentioning in the video somewhere, something like that, that's perfectly fine. Put it in the description, those sorts of things. But if it's a super popular area, then sure. But I would experiment with building this part around the scenery, like like burn fat while riding through. What is this? A scenic mountain bike path, something like that, right? I would keep the time limit in here, but I would actually put that, maybe towards the end. So basically the whole thing is more about like, the impact of the exercise, the scenery, and then put the 60-minute indoor cycling thing at the end. Those would be things that I would experiment with right now in your titles, because you're going to live and die because it looks like everything is just the scenery that you're taking people through. So because of that, you're going to live and die because all of this isn't anything that you can really change, but you're going to live and die by how you package your videos, your channel is. So some things that people have already responded to better than others are these. In this place, here, in this place. And you're doing the right thing here, where on some of these, right? So it's like, hey, they responded to this. So let me also add that, right up here. So you are doing the right thing there. But I would definitely experiment, right? Because right now you're in that stage where, those experiments can make a big difference. So they can always make a big difference, but I would experiment with like, doing it where you're describing the scenery, all that stuff, for the sake of, just seeing what people respond to best on yours. So because you don't have a lot here and because of the type of channel, there's not a ton of, stuff that I can give you here, but I would definitely just experiment with your packaging a lot. Oh, I wonder if you're recording these. So these are actual videos and then you're putting the information on there. Huh, that's cool. Yeah, if that's what you're doing, that's super cool. Interesting. Oh, a real outdoor ride filmed in motion with an action camera. That is really cool. Huh. Yeah, love YouTube. All right. All right, so on that note, we've been going for a while. So I'm going to wrap this up, but before I do, you know what, I'll show this extension to you another time. just because it's late already here. Like where I'm at, it's like 12:30 a.m. So have a, I hope you enjoyed, this live stream. Hope you got some value from it. If you haven't yet, make sure you go check out, my app. You can find that here at newcreator.app. But I do want to just kind of remind you, if you, were watching the stream today and you didn't get your channel pulled up, in like one, I'll be doing them more, right? Because I do these from time to time. Two, think to yourself, like, okay, he was saying these things about, people's thumbnails and their titles and about the clarity of their channel and about targeting a specific audience and things like that. And go and look at your channel and be like, am I doing those things that he's telling these other channels to do, right? Like with my thumbnails and titles, because it seemed like, a couple channels today, we had it where playtime edits, I can't stay here forever, right? Like I do these, on a regular basis so that, people have the opportunity to come in. But, like we've been streaming for like 2 hours here already. But basically like just look at your channel and be like, hey, these are the things that he's saying. Am I doing these things? And also remember that like, if you're not getting the results that you're after right now, that YouTube is a learning curve, just like anything else, that you do in life. So just embrace that. Like, hey, I'm this is where I'm at in the learning curve. Like I'm not getting those results yet. So I need to keep working on my skills so that I can, get myself to that point. I need to be able to identify myself. Are my videos, when they're shown on a homepage, a video that somebody can say, oh, that looks interesting? Or are my videos, if somebody sees them on a homepage, where it's like, oh, I need to check this out, right? Like those types of things. So just embrace the idea that you're in that learning curve right now, because we're all always in that learning curve. But like, just acknowledge that and keep going, because this stuff is tough. It's hard. It's hard to grab somebody's attention when they're just logging on YouTube looking for things, because you're competing with everything that people are interested in on YouTube. So it's challenging, and you have to, work through it and get to that point to where you're consistently getting that response. You consistently understand what your viewers want from you and things like that. So hang in there. You got this. Have a great weekend. My brother D and I are going to be streaming tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, where we're answering YouTube questions. As a part of that, sometimes we pull up channels as well. So if you enjoyed this, definitely swing by there. And have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. I'm actually going to give this just a second here to make sure that we get all the way to the end.